My awful husband posted my birth video on the internet even though I told him not to. Now it's on a fetish subreddit because of him. My husband is the most wonderful and caring person I've ever met in my life, and that's why this betrayal hurts so much. He's always concerned with how I'm doing, how I'm feeling, how my mental health is. This increased after I had a difficult birth with my first child. My hospital experience was really bad because the nurses were barely attending to me and the doctors kept ignoring me when I said I was in pain. I felt traumatized afterwards and knew that when I got pregnant with my second, I wanted a home birth. My husband agreed, and because he's a nurse, I felt safe with him. I also had my midwife with me. The midwife filmed everything and we also had a professional photographer taking pictures. Everything went better than it had the first time in the hospital. I have been pretty possessive of that birth tape, and it was really only meant for me to watch when I'm feeling sentimental. I never uploaded it anywhere, and never intended to. It is so beautiful and important to me, so I wasn't interested in sharing it. After my traumatic first birth, it was mine and I cherished it. My husband didn't feel the same way and sometimes had light arguments with me about it. He said we should put it up on YouTube to be some teaching lesson for others, but I wasn't having any of that. Luckily, he was never pushy, but several times, when I would watch it, he would comment, "This is such an excellent birth video. You are so happy and calm. I really think you should post this. Home births get such a bad rep and this could put so many women at ease." I would tell him over and over again that this is a private moment and he needed to stop pestering me about it. He eventually dropped it and hasn't brought it up since. I've never had a reason to distrust my husband before, but I got a bad feeling in my gut after he stopped bothering me with the home video. A few days ago, I was in one of my parenting subreddits and came across a disturbing thread about birth videos getting posted non-consensually in a birth fetish subreddit. That was exactly the reason I didn't want to post my birth video online. The commenter posted the link to the fetish sub, and I'll admit curiosity got the better of me, so I went to look. I wanted to know if any of my friends' videos wound up there so that I could tell them. Well, their videos did wind up there. But then I saw it. My effing birth video. I'm so effing ashamed and horrified. There is a close-up of everything down there in a effing fetish site. My baby taking his first breaths. Me breastfeeding. It doesn't even cut off after the birth. It shows my baby getting weighed and held. If this is a birth fetish sub, why does it feature so much of just my child? This seems like way more than just a birth fetish thing. I reported the post and Reddit says it doesn't violate anything. I am bawling so hard. And the worst part? Only one person knows where that tape is, my effing husband. I don't even know how to broach this subject with him. Hey, did you effing violate my privacy and post our baby's birth online, or did you submit it straight to a fetish site, because that's where it is right now? I can't believe I even have to have this discussion. Even if he didn't submit that video straight to the fetish site, he uploaded it somewhere else where they found it, and now his actions have led to this situation. He exposed me to perverts online. He exposed our newborn infant to perverts online. Our marriage will not survive this no matter how hard he tries to repair it, and I am a wreck. Should have known he had sick intentions when he was being so weird about wanting me to post this. Why? Why would he do this? I'm thinking of pressing charges against my husband, but for now, I'm leaving with my kids to my mom's house. I didn't tell my husband anything. I just wanted to get the kids the F away from him. Even if he didn't share that video directly with those creeps, I don't want him around them. My awful husband posted my birth video on the internet even though I told him not to. Now it's on a fetish subreddit because of him. I had my home birth filmed and my husband was very persistent about posting it online. Even though I refused every single time, he went behind my back and did it anyway. Now, me and my newborn are forever exposed on the internet. I went to my mom's house with my kids to get away from this disgusting creep. I couldn't even tell her the reason why I was so upset because I was embarrassed. I didn't want her to go looking for the damn video either. Thinking of my mom searching around an adult film sub to find my birth video made my skin crawl. I just told her something bad had happened and we needed to stay for a while. I kept thinking about telling her because I needed the support and comfort, but I just started crying more. The situation is even more complicated now, so I'm just scared people will be mad at me for doing what I'm doing, even my own mom. My husband called and texted over and over for hours. I texted him once and said we were visiting my mom and would be back later, but I needed a break. He continued to text sporadically, pleading with me to talk with him about what was wrong. I went back over to our house the next day and went with the intention to confront him and record the whole interaction. He ran up to me and immediately started asking what was wrong, asking where the kids were, etc. He was so understandably upset. Seeing him like that just made me start crying too. He tried to hug me and I stepped away, which just made him more upset. I asked him to watch a video on my phone, and he got confused, more so when he realized it was my birth video. A few minutes in, he interrupted to ask why I was showing him that. I asked him how that ended up on Reddit, but he just started raging about how we needed to mass report the post, call the FBI, and blah blah blah. He kept repeating, "We'll fix this." Holy F. This is so sick. I tried to get his attention by asking how did they get that video? But he just kept pacing around ranting. I just started repeating over and over, how did they get it? Until I was screaming at the top of my lungs. He started crying and told me that he had started a daddy blog a year after our first was born. He posted about being a dad and eventually about his experience with my second pregnancy. He had posted the video on YouTube to link to his blog. He felt like there weren't enough resources out there for dads regarding pregnancy. He didn't know I didn't want it posted until a week after the baby was born, and I was so adamant about not posting it. It was up for 10 effing months before he finally took it down. He was waiting to see if I changed my mind, and was reluctant to remove it because he'd received so many messages from thankful dads about how educational and helpful his blog/vlogging was. Mind you, I had no idea this blog even existed. We had both expressed many times how we didn't want to create a massive digital footprint for our children because of situations just like effing this, so this is such a effing weird surprise. There's hundreds of pictures of our family on this thing. We got into a huge argument about how this was a breach of trust and privacy. He maintained that he thought my reaction about not wanting the video posted was over the top, and how I never told him I didn't want to share it, how he didn't even think of it as a big deal because he deals with that kind of thing every day, so it was just not a big deal to him, and blah blah blah. His excuses were stupid and I don't care. My birth wound up on a fetish subreddit because of him and we are getting a divorce. When I told him it was over, we had another big screaming match. He went through several different emotions. Crying, wailing, begging, and finally anger. He started threatening full custody and how he was going to put up a huge fight, how it would just be he said/she said, how he has the better job, etc. I didn't tell him I recorded anything and eventually just walked out. I'm so effing done with him and this marriage.